Hi darlings, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I create my everyday go-to natural brow. So what you're going to need is an eyebrow pencil or a styler. I love this one from Revlon. Next is a skin tone concealer, which we'll be using to tidy up our brow. Setting powder for a matte effect. A damp beauty blender. Our tools include a flat sculpting brush, a spoolie brush, which can often be found at the back end of your eyebrow pencil or styler, and a pair of tweezers. So I'm going to start off by applying some settings powder onto my brows. This is good especially for people with oily skin because it helps mattify whatever excess moisture is left on your brow area by the primer, moisturizers, and just the buildup of oil over time throughout the day while you're wearing your makeup. Next up, we're going to use the spoolie brush to brush our brows up. This basically helps you get some visibility of your brow shape and also lets you see where you still need to maybe groom a bit, which I'm going to do now with my tweezers. I used to wax my brows. That's something that you can go for if you're comfortable with it and if you can afford to. However, I am on a student budget, so I pluck my brows at home, which is a method that I'm most comfortable with. So once you feel like you've groomed your brows enough and you've got the shape right and you've gotten rid of the outlying hairs, then you can go ahead and fill in your brows. I generally start off with a very faint line at the bottom of my brow, which will basically direct the shape of my brow. If you're going for a natural brow, it's very important that you go in with a very soft touch. Don't go in with a heavy hand. And you draw the line and then you start filling in towards the back end of your brow. Also note that I draw soft strokes in the direction that my eyebrow hairs grow. I like to think of the brow filling process as a stop and go because you fill in and then you brush, and then you fill in and then you brush. This basically helps you see where you still need to fill in a bit more or where you may have filled in a bit too much and might need to do a bit of damage control. Now that we've more or less sorted out the back end of the brow, we're going to move on to the front end of the brow. Naturally, the front end of the brow does not look like the back end. The front end is very sparse out and the hairs are very fine and sometimes they can be very feathery and non-existent. So as you can see, I've drawn very light strokes in an upward direction, which is basically what my natural brows look like. And once again, with the stop and go process, I fill in and then I stop to brush it up to make sure that my eyebrows are still looking as natural as can be. At this point, you're satisfied with the shape of the brow and how much you filled it in, so it's time to tidy up the brow. Using your flat sculpting brush, you're going to apply your skin-toned concealer beneath your eyebrow. The technique that I use is to drag the concealer towards my eyelid so that it makes it easier to blend it out and it doesn't form a sort of halo around my eyebrow. I also like to blend the concealer into my eyelids just to smoothen out the look. I then go in with a damp beauty blender to blend out the whole look. You need to be aware to blend carefully around your eyebrow area so that you don't smudge your eyebrow. Next up, we're going to conceal and tidy up the top of our brow. And it's very important to take your time and be very careful not to conceal into where you filled in. And once again, you blend that out with a damp beauty blender for a smooth finish. You'll notice I occasionally tuck in some stray eyebrow hairs, and that's simply because I've got wavy eyebrow hairs that stick out from time to time. Last but definitely not least, I'm now going to set my eyelids with my setting powder. And voila! There you have a natural everyday go-to brow. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a huge thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already done so. I will see you on the flip side. I love you all for watching. Mwah, mwah, mwah.